Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of international rugby, and this one has quite a lot of implications on the line. Samoa taking on Chile. Now, this is a two-leg aggregate type of matchup for the Rugby World Cup 2027 qualifying. So what that means is whoever has the better points differential over the two legs, they will go through to the Rugby World Cup, and the loser, they will find themselves in the repechage, which is just that little bit longer before you get to that Rugby World Cup comp. Looking through at the starting lineup for the Samoans, they've made a few changes compared to what we saw last week in their Pacific Nations Cup fixture, where the USA were able to beat Samoa and book themselves a spot through to the World Cup. Aki Seuli in the front row alongside Ane Asu in the number 2 jersey and Michael Alalatoa. Now, that man would love nothing more than to book the spot through to the Rugby World Cup. But it will not be easy to do. This Chilean side, they had a good win over the Romanians not too long ago, and they certainly will pack a bit of a punch. We actually saw these two sides play off in the last World Cup. Samoa, they were victorious. In that game, Bednini alongside Michael Curry, they are the locking joy with Olajuwon Noah once again at 6, Alama Matonga at number 7, and Patelo Mapu slotting in at 8. Now, he was absolutely phenomenal last game up against the USA, and he would have been gutted that they didn't make their way through the next stage. And at the World Cup qualifying, Tupai as that number 9 with Christian Leliofano as the starting 10. So they have decided to make that little bit of a switch there. And a big chance here in the number 12 jersey for Theo Stefani. He is going to be on debut for the Samoans. Nanai in the number 13 jersey. Out on one wing, it is Akong. And then also Alofipo and Lolangi Vizinier slotting in as that number 15 options for the Chileans. Now, for anyone who was following this Chilean side throughout the Rugby World Cup in 2023, you'll see a few familiar faces across this lineup. Ayarza, he was one of the standouts for Chile throughout their World Cup. Out on the other wing, Garafalik alongside the other Garafalik brother, Matthias and Nicholas in their backline. Videla at 12, and then also Reyes and Videla, they will be that 9 and 10 combination. But this is a huge opportunity for Chile to be able to book a back-to-back a World Cup spot. It would be massive for them, as their rugby does seem like it's just continuing to grow. And like I said, a big win over the Romanians not too long ago. Escobar in the number 2 jersey, going to be important for Diego to get those throws right. And then that locking joy. I just feel like there has to be that little bit of extra intensity when it comes to set piece. For Chile, they cannot take a backward step. And with an aggregate type of setup here, you can't afford to go down too badly in the first match. So if Chile can stay competitive, and if this game is separated, let's say by less than 10 points, you give them a decent chance being able to get that next leg for the head-to-head. And that next leg of the head-to-head is going to be taking place Sunday morning, 8:30 a.m. New Zealand time next week. Hoping to cover that one on the channel as well. Chile are considered as the home team for that match, whereas Samoa do have the home field advantage for this game here. We have got as well, any idea where I can watch this in New Zealand is on Rugby Pass TV as your best option for this. I believe that should be the best working option. Thanks for your commentary, Hamish, in the France versus New Zealand. France versus England. I lost the live chat near the end. It may have been win-related, says Lawrence. Yeah, a bit of a hectic finish. And we saw the English just start to ramp it up that little bit more. It's going to be exciting to see what they can do in the final up against the Canadians, 1 versus 2 in the women's rankings. We have got there, why 2 weeks, says Mohadin. I think it is just to give them a little bit more of an opportunity. And that is normally what happens in the qualification matches. Chile actually lost. In fact, no, Chile won in their 2-match aggregate up against, I think it was Uruguay, to get into this position of getting to play in the repechage. The said team who fail this game will play one team or multiple teams to requalify a spot. So pretty much whoever loses this 2-leg aggregate between Chile and Samoa go into a repechage with 3 other teams. And then it's kind of like a mini tournament to then be able to qualify. So it's actually a lot of work for whoever loses these 2 matches. And the last thing that you want is to leave that to a little bit of, I guess, fate in some regards, in terms of sometimes, you have one bad game out of that and you might be gone. Where are Chile from? They are from Chile, but of course that is in South America for the location. So South American rugby as a whole just seems to be on an up a little bit. Saw some great rugby from Brazil in the Women's World Cup not too long ago. Argentina, very competitive throughout the Rugby World Cup too. We actually got to see Argentina versus Chile at that last Rugby World Cup. hopefully we get to see it at the next one as well. Predictions for the game. It's actually really hard to say because at this point in time, I would say that Chile are a bit of an unknown. Samoa, we've seen them in the Pacific Nations Cup, and they have not had their best run. They've been losing games because of handling errors, and they can still score some very good tries along the way. Samoa come in as favourites, and you would think that they would be able to win. But at the same time, who knows? Maybe Chile come into this game with that little bit of extra motivation, and that helps them get over the line. Realistically, what happens if both teams drawed? So you're saying what happens if they both draw both games? I think that the likeliness of that happening is extremely slim. And I also don't even think there is a plan for what happens there. I assume you'd base it off maybe who has scored the most tries, and then everything along those lines would come into play. And let's go Samoa, says Robert T. And we have got there, Samoa has new 10 each test. Yeah, although Christian Lealiofano, very good option to have for this matchup. A lot of experience under his belt. Not so much for Samoa, but overall just in international rugby in general. And Seda Riquas, helped out by the TMO, rightfully so, of course. Says Bruce, and also we have got there, I'm still enjoying the Curry Cup finals. Paul Lyons was celebrating. Says Xander, the Springboks have a high chance to lose top one since they saw it against France and other places. Says Ethan, I mean, every side has a chance of dropping in the rankings. That's just the way that the world rankings work. But if they win all their games from here, they've got absolutely nothing to worry about. For South Africa, let's go ref. Says Mr. Kiwi for life, but this game only a couple minutes away from kicking off, ladies and gentlemen. And then this is the first of 3 that are going to be taking place. We've also got the Pacific Nations Cup third place playoff game between Canada and Tonga. And then alongside that, Fiji versus Japan. That is the final of the Pacific Nations Cup. That one kicking off in about 6 or so hours' times. Christian is older than JOC, and have massive respect for Christian Lealiofano. Says Zazazak. He's been around for so long, Christian Lealiofano, but one thing that I really enjoy is the fact that he still plays for Samoa. In those years where some of the guys ditch them and go overseas and get the big money deals, like because he's with Moana Pacifica as well, he seems to have that little bit of extra, I guess, passion for the team and wanting to see them do well. And this is the perfect game to show that, because a big win here up against the Chileans could put them in the perfect position to be able to kind of breeze through that second match. Chile have a great 10 though, so a good battle, says Zazazak. They're very handy in that number 10 jersey, Juan Cruz Reyes. He's going to be starting the 10 jersey today. Ayaza out on the left wing, he is handy. And like I mentioned, Garafulik, the 2 brothers in this side, will also be a handful for the Samoan team. That's right, South Africa has got France later in the year. Says Kiwi Express. Do you use Apple or Samsung? I'm mainly Apple, but that's only because I used to have an iPad and it's just easier to get everything all connected through that. But I did have a Samsung up until I was probably about maybe like 20, 21. So as the weight advantage, well, currently we don't know the weights, but hopefully when they do show the first scrum, we'll get to see some sort of information coming in about the scrum battle and who's got that pack size. I mean, there are some pretty big boys out of this Chilean pack. Samoa normally do bring that physicality in terms of the size to their forward pack, and I do think that having Patelo Mapu in their number 8 jersey, even if his weight isn't as high as the power of him, it certainly does still help out. What happened? Oh, we happened to catch the Curry Cup final. What an ending. Did you know, have you had to cut it short? Or did you know you had to cut it short beforehand? I did. But I didn't expect the Riquas to be as close as they were. A lot of people were predicting the Lions to win that game by a hefty margin. So it seems safe to be able to just say, look, we'll pop away. But yeah, it ended up being a really great game of rugby between the two sides. I know that the Lions, they will be gutted because that's now twice in a row that they've ended up butchering a chance of being able to go on and win a game in the Curry Cup final. And where South America, their cultures Mexico seems to be the most OG, says Robert T. I have no idea what you're going on about. Funny enough, if both teams roared both games, it would be cool. World Rugby had a backup plan scenario where both teams surprisingly end up in the repechage, making the repechage even more difficult. Oh, interesting. And I guess in that case, it would be 2 teams from the repechage go through, right? Rather than just the one. They are just showing the starting lineups for these two sides. Pre-matches have been dealt with. Now, I will mention I am going to be on the scoreboard today in terms of updating it myself. So hopefully can do it relatively smoothly. And we got there. If the Springboks play like they played last weekend, they going to be unbeatable. Says Ethan, but Andrew Bracey will be the referee in charge of this one. Murray Sven Vesterhuizen is the TMO with Luke Pearce and Lex Wiener as the other assistant referee. Did Chile ever win the Rugby World Cup? They haven't won the Rugby World Cup, but they have been to the Rugby World Cup. They got the chance in 2023. It's when we saw them in action. And they want to book themselves that spot again here. At the end of the day, it's tricky. Because if they miss out here, you go into that repechage and it gets a lot more difficult. But I will mention, whoever wins this game does not qualify for the Rugby World Cup. They still have to play again next week, and it's the aggregate. Whoever's got the better differential there will go through. But this game taking place at Salt Lake City in Utah, and we are underway. Chile kicking it off from left to right for this Rugby World Cup qualifying matchup, and beautifully taken under the high ball for Lolangi Vizinier. Going to be important to have a good solid game from the back for the Samoans. A little bit of a counter-ruck there from Chile, but they give away the penalty. Just coming in through the side was their number 9, Videla there, just having a conversation with Andrew Brace. I tried to look it up, but it's complicated. If tied for the two matches, the difference between tries versus tries against for each team, and if they still tied the higher in the world rankings. So here's Justin there. A good kick downfield from Christian Leliofano. Now we have got there, my score prediction is 34 points to 21, says Xander. And it was cool because the Griquas took out the URC team, well deserved. Yeah, it's a massive win, and it's not very good for the confidence of the Lions heading into the URC next week. They were heading into that game expected to win it by a massive margin and didn't really get it going at all. Now to Pai, going off to the left-hand side. Samoa sitting about maybe 40 metres out from the line of the penalty, going to get Samoa for in off the feet. In the breakdown, Chile actually, biggest weakness is discipline. I believe everything is good. Says Mark, yeah, there's no denying that when this Chilean side start getting the ball moving, they can be extremely dangerous. They've got a strong back line, but like you said, just that penalty count, and that could also be down to just different referees. You know, Chile, they do play a lot of different sides compared to what we see for the Samoans. These two sides, they did play in 2023. Now, Chile got themselves the line out. Diego Escobar with a man to throw this one in, battling with Peter and Ayasu in this contest. And lineouts could be crucial because anytime that they do lose that ball, it can be a lot of trouble for the Chileans. And good for you for covering the small teams. Says Sonny, listen, I mean, it is a match for the Rugby World Cup in terms of who will be qualifying. And we did cover the whole of the Pacific Nations Cup on the channel as well, or a majority of it. We've covered all the Samoa's games throughout 2025. That was an awkward knee buckler for Ben Nini, but Chile going off to the right-hand side. Big collision on Santiago Videla. Now looking to use it quickly this time. Benjamin Videla getting off to Ayarza. Puts in the fem, but he is going to be wrestled down nicely. Going back across to the left-hand side. Chile in a good position on the field at the moment. Samoa, their discipline has also been hurting them a little bit. We have got there, good morning, Hamish. Amanis, by the way. We have got there, Buzzcut looking good. Says Amanis there too. And also, have you seen two teams play, or have these two teams played each other recently? Only in the 2023 Rugby World Cup, a chance out wide here for Chile. They are 10 metres out from the Samoan line. It's exactly where they would want to be early on after getting the penalty in their favour. Samoa looking for the steal and the breakdown, giving away the penalty advantage was Lolangi Vizinier. Is Chile better than Samoa? They are not higher on the rankings. And also the last time that they met, we did see Samoa win that game. But, you know, pressure is a wonderful thing. And this is definitely a different looking Samoan side than what we saw for that Rugby World Cup clash. Now pick and go again from Chile. They'll be still 5 metres out from the line, playing under that penalty advantage from the initial not rolling away. Going against Samoa, just the 2 metres out now. Can Chile start with a hiss and a roar? They've got themselves a big reach out and they'll score it between the post. Chile have got on the board early. And that is the last thing that the Samoans would have wanted. And also we need to mention they had about 3 or 4 penalty advantages against them in that quick span of time. But Chile have got over. have got there Santiago Vidal, number 12, someone to watch out for. Dude has lethal counter-attack. And Samoa says Jordan there. And Samoa should smash Chile with ease. Well, they're now down by 7 in this match. The Samoans just infringing. Getting it wrong there. And Chile making the absolute most of it. Here a little bit of Queen going around the stands as well. We will rock you as a song. And at the moment, Samoans rocked early on by Chile. Chance to line it up for the extra 2 points. Santiago Vidal. And gets it down the middle, making the score 7-0 now in favour of Chile. And when we talk about the aggregate, for 2 matches, if Samoa lose this game, theoretically they still can qualify as long as they win the next one. But if they lose this game by a big margin, which of course we're still very early on in the game, but if that was to happen, then it would be a mountain to climb for next week's game. As the big man, Javier Ishman, does end up scoring it in that number 5 jersey. Vamos, Chile, says Petrizic, and come on, Samoa. Says Jordan there too, but kicked off by the Samoans now. Really some deep rest being taken here. This game being played in Utah. But Springboks got some very big boys. Says Ethan Hooker. I'm not sure what that has to do with anything. We have got there Chile. Says Carlos there. Now this one's going to be kicked up high. Down towards the halfway line, nicely taken by Lolangi Visinye on the short side. Wrestled into touch. That's great defence from Chile. Again, that was Nicholas Garafulik. Managed to get him sideways. It states in the rulebook, I'm allowed to change my score prediction, says Xander. Now we have got there as USA win the game. So USA are already through to the next stage of the Rugby World Cup, which is actually they have already qualified. Whoever wins this game and maybe the next one, it's all done off aggregate though. So whoever has the best aggregate off the next 2 games, including this one, they will qualify for the World Cup. And then after that, you've also got the repechage, which is a little bit later on. But you definitely want to qualify here rather than going too long. That's going to be almost overthrown by Chile, but nicely taken. And they will set their rolling maul in motion now. 6 minutes into the contest, still 7-0 in favour of Chile. Go here, and we will adjust that score to say 8 minutes. We're not quite there yet, but we are on the manual scoreboard for today. Box kick coming from Benjamin Vidala. Just outside of the 22, and ball is dropped by Christian Leliofano. And an experienced veteran making a big mistake that now gives Chile another opportunity when it comes to attack. I'm a greatness. I see England woman 1. Says Xander. Yeah, they did run away with it in the end. 2 points separating those two sides up to around 60 minutes. And then England just got that next gear going. And managed to do very nicely at the end of the game. But now another chance here for the Chileans just outside of the Samoan 22. Does anyone know if they eat horse in Chile? I have absolutely no idea. And we have got there, so does that mean Samoa won? Says Jordan. So Samoa lost to USA, so USA qualified. And then now Samoa playing up against Chile in the 2-match series. Now we have got there, yes, long time ago. Only did 48 hours, and a penalty goes the way of Chile. They have straight away pointed at the post. I believe that was Martinez saying that is the choice that they should go for. All about the aggregate. What is the decision now? They are pointing at the posts. I'll tell you what, every single point will be absolutely crucial, and Samoa haven't started anywhere near how they would have liked to. They are looking, it sounds bad to say, but they're looking beatable no matter who they're playing around the world. First of all, it was Tonga, then it was Fiji, then it was the USA, now it is Chile. And Chile looking very well coached at this stage, says Zach. Even just the way that they set up that rolling maul looked like they have been training quite hard for this matchup. It seemed like there was a lot of structure there. Some deep breaths being taken by Santiago Vidala. This is to add an extra 3 points onto the board, and they've got it over. 10-0 now for Chile in the early stages of the match. A 10-0 lead for Chile here. Samoa, they have had one chance inside of the Chilean half, and that is it. Vamos Chile, says Petrizek. Is a Samoa team going to Disneyland on their days off or what? Says Robert T. And we have got the, what does a YouTube logo mean? Oh, I'm confused at what you mean by that. Like, isn't like your YouTube logo that you've selected? I guess for yours, it's a Springbok, so represents South African rugby. I hope Samoa wins, says Jordan. And hey, Hamish and the other lads, did you see France versus the Red Roses? What a first half. Yeah, very close between those two sides. And then in the end, England managing to run away. We did cover it on the channel, and it was eventful for that second half. But in the end, England they showed their class, and I think that them versus Canada going to be a very good Rugby World Cup final. Now 10 minutes gone in this contest, going through the middle. It is Javier Esman, the man who just scored the try, all but had it tied up at Andrew Brace. And somehow the benefit of the doubt to get it out the back to Pai. Goes across to the right-hand side again here for Samoa. Something they have struggled with is their handling throughout the last few weeks. Is that going to be the case here as well? Leliofano popping it in behind, shoveling it on to Lolangi Vizinier. Takes a huge contact from the Chilean defence who are muscling up the early stages of the game. Leliofano now going across to Anea Sui. Oh, Leliofano, short ball again to Ben Nini. This is good defence at the moment from Chile. Not allowing for any easy runs through for the Samoan team. Chile started very strong here. Hope this isn't a one-sided game, and the penalty this time now does go the way of Samoa. Quick tap taken by Nanai. Did score one of the last tries for Samoa in that last game. Up against the USA to Pai. Flicks it back. But a hesitation there for Samuel Slater. In fact, no, sorry, it was Michael Curry this time. I see 2027. Amor Samoa versus Chile. And Vamos Chile says Sebastian now out wide. Lolangi Vizinier tackled low. I sit 15 metres out from the line now for Samoa. Cutting back in, it's Aki Seule. Off to the left again. The big man, Patelo Mapu. Type of physicality that perhaps Chile hasn't found themselves up against too often. Passed on the outside. That was poor from Samoa, trying to rush it, but it will be the penalty now. Going back for Samoa's position. Was nail-biting for a while, but England got the pedal out at half-time. Gave France a good spanking. Says Big Rig there. And also here there goes Samoa, says Jordan. Okay, never back on side there. The penalty against the Chileans. Only 12 minutes through in this match, and it looks like it's an easy three-pointer for Samoa if they want it, but I don't know if they do. Oh, no, they do. They have decided that that is a good choice just to try and get slightly back into this game. Of course, aggregate, like we said, really, you just want to be as close to even as you can be if you feel like you're an underdog. And then from there, second match, that's when you start to really make your stride. But, of course, you don't want to make too many early mistakes in a two-match aggregate series. The last thing you want is to be down by 15 going into that second game. Christian Liliofano, only pretty safe off the kicking tee. And it should be a nice, easy one for him. Of a lot of experience for the Australians. And he has got it over. Now making the score after 13 minutes, 3-10. So in favour of the Chileans. A second match is in Chile. Says the reviewer, that is true. So Samoa, they will want a good start, as they haven't been known as a travelling team over the last couple of years. We have got there, Hamish have a Red Bull, says Costorianti. And we have got the the Samoans on the board from Big Rig. And yeah, it was just that Chilean discipline again that hurt them a little bit. Hamish, did you get the pig in a blanket? You spoke about previous games. It's still only 7:50 a.m. here, so no pigs and blankets have been consumed at this point. Nicely taken by Leliofano with a nice spin. Tries to dodge the Chilean defence. Now rolling this one back, it is to Pai. The ball was out, so he does have to boot it downfield, and that one's gone into touch about maybe 30 metres out from the line if they're lucky. He doesn't look happy with the touch judge in terms of the distance. I think the best thing, he's going over to talk to him. That's the last thing you want to be doing as a player, because next time, guess what? He's giving you 3 less metres. It's 8:50 p.m. here. Here's Big Rig. Okay, Luke Pearce just having a conversation there with the Pai. He He's telling him to get back so that he is onside. Chile ready to throw this one in with Diego Escobar. Nicely taken by the Chilean try scorer. Currently the only man being able to score a try in this game, and already at another advantage. Going against the Samoans for dragging down the breakdown. Rush defence. Shutting that one down early. They will now go back for the original penalty. Another 3-pointer chance here for Chile, or they can go for the corner. It's probably perfectly set up. Oh, they've decided to quick tap instead. Short run, about 10 metres out from the line. Nice run from Benjamin Videla. Now Chile going to catch the Samoans napping here. The early stages of the match. Michael Alalatoa tackled again. Pick and go. Looking off to the left-hand side. In fact, no pick and go to the right this time. New Zealand Sunday morning, 7:52 a.m. Says John there. Now, another pick and go for Chile. 5 metres out from the line. I believe for now, Samoa aren't under penalty advantage. It normally doesn't take too long. Now, another one just round the side of the breakdown. Chile 1 metre short of the line. That was all but over. It's good defence from Samoa just at this point in time. The question is for how long can they hold out? Stop Chile from getting over again. That is good defence, driving him back 1 metre. Still only sitting 2 from the line though. Now another pick and go. Oh, one of the Chilean players is down. I think that's Nicholas Garafulik. He looks in a bad way, maybe a rib injury at this point in time. Another pick and go. Just 1 metre out. This is some of the best defence we've actually seen from Samoa in quite some time. But now the backline for the Chileans. Wide cutout pass, and they will score it in the corner. While one Garafulik is down with injury, Matthias, his brother, is scoring a try for Chile. And just like that, Chile have got themselves an even bigger lead in this matchup. They are sitting 15 points to 3. They are doing very well with 14 players as well in this case. As you go through the night, you're a crazy man. These days my eyes can't open after 11:30 p.m. So yeah, Xander. Yeah, we have been awake for a little while, but we have still got a few more games. We've actually got 2 more after this match that we are going to be covering. And we have got the Red Roses kept running up and talking to the refs. I'm kind of surprised the ref didn't stand handing out 10 metres. They don't seem to, though. Like, we've seen it many times that sides probably should have been penalised for too much back chat. But no one seems to get that. They want, oh, hang on. Time is off here. Right. Now, the big question is this checking to see whether or not it's a try, or is this checking to see how Garafulik ended up injured? I can pretend Monday isn't a day away from a few more hours, says Big Rig. Right, sounds like it's all good. It has been cleared. They gave him about 2 seconds left on the shot clock. Now, he has just missed the way to the side. He's got a fair argument there. And he's actually having a conversation with the ref, Santiago Videla. It's pretty rough when they turn the clock off, when he's got 7 seconds remaining on his shot clock. Go, it's all clear, you've got 5 seconds to strike now. So you can understand why he's missed the way to the side, but got set up a little bit in the process. I got a double blow of the whistle. I assume that this one would have to be for subs. Oh no, now we're going upstairs and we're TMOing it. Okay, well my question is, if they find that it is still a try, does he get the kick again, seeing as they rushed him? They are going to be checking the big screen now. I think they're checking for the rib injury. Blue number 15, that's Lulangi Vizier, who may have put in the cheap shot. Any one of these two would be favourites to win the repechage, says Christo. They certainly would be, but you're also in that scenario how pressure can do bad things for certain sides. I think that Chile are handling the pressure well and truly in this contest, but, you know, in a mini tournament format, all it takes is one bad game and you're pretty much gone. Right, we're going to see the replay now. Where is Lulangi Vizier in this scenario? They are looking for a cheap shot. Looking for 8 blue. It might be actually Patelo Mapu. Right. Nothing as of yet, by the looks of it. Oh, was it there? Just a little dig into the ground. Tried to pull him. Oh, yeah, no, he's put his body weight and he's driven it down on the player on the ground. They're trying to find it from another angle. Surely the bloke knows that there's more than one camera that they're using at the ground, so he was going to get caught. We have got there not the most compliment display of international refereeing, is it? Says a big rig. And they reset the clock for France, says big rig. Yeah, they actually mentioned about it, how they said, look, we'll give you your time back. But, yeah, Chile getting a bit hard done by there. Right, we're going to see the replay here again from this far angle. So the player's on the ground on his back. Oh, yeah, no, that's a bit dirty from Patelo Mapu. What's happened there is he's actually decided to drive the Chilean's face into the ground while he's already grounded. So he's trying to rub his nose in the dirt. And he's putting all his body weight onto the Chilean player's face. Right, they've said there that they haven't got clear evidence to show that he's in around the eye area. Okay, it's going to be sent for an off-field review against 8 Blue, and he's going to get sent to the bin for 10 minutes for being stupid. We have got there Samoa flags from Angela. And also, do you have Rugby League Live 26? I do. I haven't played it a huge amount. I don't actually know what the update status on the game is at the moment, but Patelo Mapu, they're going to have a lot of time to be able to review this one and see whether or not it is going to be upgraded to a rare card. And if it is, it was a very, very dumb thing to do. And sometimes it does seem like the ref's decision are based on what will make the match more exciting. So here's Big Rig. And what the hell, Mapu so stupid? Yeah, it was just not smart. You know, your team's down by so many points. And there's a thing called a camera. You know, these games aren't being played in the 1960s or the 1970s where, you know, you might be lucky if you have one stagnant one. Like, everything's caught nowadays. So, yeah, it just wasn't a smart move. Channeling as Jacob Fatu. See his Big Rig. I mean, I would have preferred to see him hit him with a moonsault in that case. Now, big run from Lalangi Vizanier. Now, sitting 30 metres out from the line. Breaking forward, Alamana They are currently playing with only 14 on the field. Dumbest card I've seen. Says Zizak. And the thing is, it could still be a red, depending on what they find in the off-field review. But there's no excusing why he did it. You know, there was no reason to. The tackle was made. The guy was on the ground. Maybe he said a mean word to him or something that annoyed him, but I can't imagine any reason that it seemed justifiable to try and slam a guy's head on the ground. Awkward bouncing ball, nicely picked up by Nanai, just out from the line, short side, and gets the try for Samoa. Chile saying he's in touch, but I think they'll have to check that one. Samoa may have just got themselves their first try of the match, even though they're a man down. And it's a crucial one for them too. And it's going to be Theo Stefani. He is on debut for the Samoans here. Driver 14 men, that is very much correct. Playing with one less man on the field seems to have sorted something out here. Why the heck this game is not on Stan Sports, says Jake Toll. It is on Rugby Pass TV though, globally. So you should be able to watch it there. This isn't WWE. You can't get away with a headbutt. Ask Jasper Visa. Says Xander. I have to ask, where can I watch the full match? So Rugby Pass TV do have it available for a lot of locations around the world. You do need an email address to be able to watch it, but I'd assume if you're commenting on YouTube, you should at least have one. So, yeah, I'd recommend checking that out. I believe they are showing both aggregate matches, 1 and 2. Christian Liliofano bringing it back around, but it hits the post. So the score will remain at 15 points to 8 between these two sides. Chile, a very nice lead at the moment. Liliofano initially, or in fact, it was actually the man in the number 12 jersey who did the kick. And Theo on the short side, finishing it off. Check there is nothing live on Rugby Pass TV. So here's Angela. Okay, so if it's not live on Rugby Pass TV where you are, there must be another broadcaster available. I believe. What just happened with the score? The score updated. Samoa scored. And Samoa losing to Chile. The Samoan team absolutely sucks. Says Theron there. Why are you bringing Springbok players into it? I don't think anyone's mentioned the Springboks in the last 30 minutes other than yourself, Ethan. We have there, Jasper steamrolled Samasoni like he was a little Tongan speed bump, I assume that is. Now rolling this one back here for the Samoans. They are inside of the 22. And it's a very decent clearing kick. It will stay in the field of play as Chile have slapped it back inside. Now big collision, finding another offload. And we'll send this one down the middle of the field. Be respectful, guys. Says Angela there. And also, this could be the game you remember all your life. Probably not. I'll be honest, I'll probably forget it by next week. Of course, in the 2-match aggregate series, that second match is the much more important one. And we have got there, what the heck is happening to Toulouse, says Vincent. And we have got there, it really hasn't been the year, sadly. Wales and Samoa have lost so much steam, says Big Rick. And that's it, Savia's playing for Samoa, says Jake Toll. They could certainly use him at the moment. But the thing is, they have got a pretty decent talent pool. It's just outside of the World Cups, no one seems to want to play for them out of those experienced veterans. And that's when you need a few guys to really step up and actually go, look, like if we want to try and join the squad for 2027, we have to help them get there rather than just taking spots off the young players because, you know, they've got that name value. Currently sitting 45 metres out from the Chilean line now, or from Samoa's line, in fact, it will be. Okay, there, do you have a favourite game? I think Japan vs. the Box in 2015 is my favourite. It's the closest rugby got to a Hollywood movie, says Big Rig. And also, although soft spot for England winning in the World Cup in 2023, says Big Rig. Now, off to the left-hand side again. Chance here for the Chileans, sitting 42 metres out from the line. To the right, looks like Chile have actually got a player down with a bit of an injury at the moment, now looping around. The backline looks well set at the moment, Chile, and they seem to be able to find gaps in Samoa's defence pretty easily. Ball on the outside, Ayarsa trying to cut back in. Another offload here. Chile keeping the ball moving. That is a beautiful team try. And in the end, Santiago Pedrero does score it, but there were about 5 or so offloads in a row there from Chile as they strike again for another try here. They are just running away with it. They've called it try of the year contender right there from the Chileans. Samoa getting run over here defensively. Okay, there, the face palm there from Thurin there. Let's win Manu Samoa, says Angela. Yeah, going to the short side and then Garafalik getting the offload away. That was pretty flat, that one, but not sure whether or not they will check it. Ayaza, though, offloading there. And then Game with the pass on the outside from the 9 Videla. Be able to finish it off. And Samoan, I just own my team, says Jake. And extra man advantage. You can force space if you keep passing. And also, why Samoa is so bad? It's actually really hard to tell. Because, like, don't get me wrong. They don't have some of their main big players. But at the same time, like, they just, like I said, they've been outplayed in every game that they have played so far. And that's a tricky one. Alt captain's getting called over. This will be for the yellow card of Patelo Mapu. This will be a big decision now. Is this going to be upgraded? And if it is, Samoa will be in a huge amount of trouble. Okay, it's going to remain a yellow card, but only because there's no clear evidence that there was any sort of eye gouging. So the only thing that saved Patelo Mapu, if he has done it, is the fact that no one could properly see it. But he is still going to be off the field for another 3 minutes. We'll stay a yellow for card. Or for now, I should say. Now. Get it now in behind Chile. Big collision there. Aki Sauli. We're tackling that one nicely. About 10 metres out from the line now for Chile. They are inside of their own 22. Samoa are down now by a decent old margin here. 22 points to 8. Down by the 14. Eye gouging, are you stupid or what? Says Sarin. Yeah, although they didn't find any evidence that he did do it, there's just no evidence that he didn't do it in that scenario. So he's probably quite lucky. Did the kick over? The kick did go over, so 22 points to 8 the score at the moment. Aki Sauli, 40 metres out from the line. Samoa trying to up the tempo a little bit here. But the question is, do they have the bigger gas tank than this Chilean side? Because if they don't, then upping the tempo may actually work against them. Lolangi Vizier still sitting the 40 out. We have good there. Did the kick go over? It did. And many years or so ago, France were doing it in every game. It was becoming a serious problem until they got slapped down, says Big Rig. Now, kick it in behind here. Tupai looking for the touchline and a little bit of territory. They'll go back, though, for the initial penalty. In fact, that's a penalty to Chile. The world rankings will change substantially if Chile go ahead by 16, says the reviewer. It will be a massive boost for the Chileans and a massive drop for the Manu Samoans. We have there because we love rugby, says Big Rig. Neck roll 2 blue. So Peter and Ayasu so far from the Samoans. We've seen a little bit of facial play, and then also alongside that we've seen a neck roll. So it's good to see that the discipline's going well. I've got there, what if you eye gouge carefully with respect? So as in you're like trying to tickle his eyeball, or is it still a proper gouge, or is it just like an eye caress? Because I feel like if you're eye caressing, you're probably getting a yellow anyway, if not a red, because you shouldn't be playing with people's eyes. But currently the Samoans, we see it there just offside. Honestly, the Samoa head coach needs to be replaced, says Robert T. If you eye gouge in the game, you deserve a red. There's a World Cup spot at stake, and you want to resort to eye gouging. Dumb idiot, says Theron there. And as Tonga in the World Cup, they certainly are. They finished in the top 4, so they will be through to the next stage. If you don't win, then be humble and come home and play basketball, says Apelu there. It's hard to argue, though. Chile look decent and Samoa look lost. Absolutely. Chile look structured. They look like they know exactly what they're trying to do. It looks like Game is going to be making his way off the field with a bit of a limp here. Hopefully nothing too serious, as they will want to use him next week as well, I would think. And also we have got the... Hamish, do you think the New Zealand media and ex-players are too harsh on the All Blacks? I mean, you can't always be the best 50 years in a row, says Xander. Yeah, see, I feel like the thing is, right, I feel like that's just social media now. And the sad reality is it's pretty hard to find positivity on social media without some sort of negativity. I can't even speak anymore. Negativity thrown in there too. Damn Samoa. Not going well, says Johnny. Our usual discipline issues for Samoa, and this time it is going to be the penalty on the way of the Samoans. Now, Patelo Mapu, he will be making his way back out onto the field here. So, that is one bonus for them here. And the only thing that's really concerning for Chile at the moment is the amount of injuries that they have suffered throughout this match. Why is your nose pink, says Mohadin? Because of hay fever. There you go. Over there, Samoa will come back and win, says Sonny Listen. Well, the thing is, even if they don't win, they just have to be close. That's the big difference maker, because it is a 2-match series, which is a little bit confusing, but pretty much whoever has the best aggregate over the 2 matches will then end up with the World Cup spot. Samoa is no longer into rugby, says Tim there. And Samoa will come back and win, and we have got there, stop talking about South Africa, please. They aren't even playing, says Vincent. Oh, that's going to be a penalty. And that is going to be Samoa's ball now. Able to kick it towards the corner again, I would say, and just try and work their way down the field. Samoa Rugby Union as a whole is rubbish, says Johnny Blaze, and Samoa getting Sashid. Is it? Sashid? Like Sasha Feinberg, Ungume Zulu. Now, kicked into touch by Christian Liliofano. And that yellow card did cost them 1 try here, Samoa. Now, 20, probably 3 meters out from the line. Now, a line out throw for Peter Anayasu. It's here to be able to throw it in for the Samoans. Nicely taken. And looping around the back there to Pai with the flat ball into the hands of Patelo Mapu, who now has to have a really big game to be able to make up for that yellow card. Wherever there, I really want Samoa, or I really thought Samoa was the stronger team, but Chile has bulldozing them, says Xander. Now Liliofano skip past there. Nano, I have a little flick round the back now. So some skill being shown by Samoa. It's whether or not that skill turns into points. It's the most crucial one there, managing to stay on the feet. Back across Liliofano, skip past there. Oh, and it is a knock on from Alamundo Matonga. And will now be a Chilean scrum. Now over there, hi all and Hamish. There's Robert, welcome in. Hope you're doing extremely well. You would have thought right, but honestly, they played this year. Anything is possible with how bad they are at the moment. Says Darren. And yeah, like I mentioned, Chile had a good win over Romania. And that was in the July internationals. I thought maybe Chile would show some rust, but they have not had any sort of rust whatsoever. They started very quickly and just found their rhythm. Samoa, go home and send your talent to the ABs, says Jake. And also remember the Bone Collector, Hamish. He was my favourite Samoan player. Maybe you were too young. I know of the chiropractor, Brian Lima. He was doing some great things with the sevens for the Samoans. 30 minutes through. The match again looks like a bit of an injury here for, I want to say that as Aki Seuli, just having a bit of an issue with one of his legs. And this doesn't actually look like he's going to be able to continue in this game, Aki Seuli. That is going to force the change for the Samoans. And they represent New Zealand, not Samoa. So there's Darren there. Aki Seuli not looking too flash. He'll be frustrated about that one, as he would have liked to stay out there for at least half of the game. I enjoy the Italian rugby team. I was hoping they played more games in South Africa. Says Xander. Why would the ABs want talent from a team that can't even beat Chile? Says Darren there. Now Chile have got themselves a scrum feed. They are inside of their own 22. Still 14 points separating these two sides. Currently 22-8. League number 1. League 2 takes place next week, 8:30 a.m. on Sunday morning. So roughly the same time as this one, but Jared Adams is on the field for the injury of Seuli. And that is a big scrum, an awkward one, in Chile get themselves the penalty again here. And we have there, and why would the ABs want... Oh no, I read that one, didn't I? All right, we will check the odds. See how it is sitting. 1 second. At the moment, Chile are sitting as the favourites at the way that it currently sits, as you would expect when they are 22 points to 8 up. That one's going to be going into touch. And touch season is starting today. I'm taking my son. I've also picked him into wrestling. Will benefit the tackling and ruck areas. So here's Johnny Blaze. Sounds like he's going to be very busy during the rugby off season. Now over there, Junior. Here's Jake. Now 8 minutes remaining in this first half. Only still Chile in firm control, 22 points to 8. The way that it does currently sit. Now another line-out throw for Diego Escobar. Now, I'm going to get this one rolling forward here. The Undertaker plays like a scary rugby player. Says cool story. That one stopped once for Escobar. Got to go back across the right-hand side. Chile going to kick this one high. Ayaza chasing after it. Liliofano needed to take it cleanly, but he has not. It is going to be picked up by Tapai off the knock-on of Cóndores. Or Los Cóndores, I should say. So if you're the Samoa head coach, what do you say at halftime? Says Big Rig. Well, the thing is, like, I don't know what you can say. Like, you just got to pretty much say, look, boys, you probably let this one slip unless we really have a great second half. So, they just, they need to find a way of at least making it close so that they can go into that next game with half a chance. Or with half a chance, I should say. Okay, Hamish favourite All Blacks at 11 of all time. Says Jake, I know a lot of people would go. Jonah, currently territory, very even. at the moment between these two sides. At what age do you see school players start to specialise in certain positions, or only really high school? Normally high school's when you start to see them, and you even see some guys around New Zealand, they'll be a loose forward when they're 15, and then by the time they're 18, they're out on the wing or in a different position. It just depends on when teams kind of grow a little bit more. There's been a few Manu Samoans going to the All Blacks back in the day. So here's Jake Toa there. Pablo Limioni is in charge of this side. I believe bring your dad on one day. Says Mohadeen. Well, we did have Mum here for the Ramphilly Shield game yesterday. Last time we had Dad on was probably State of Origin, I would say. Xander, it's under 12s in New Zealand. My son has played open side at number 10 this year. Says Johnny Blaze. Okay, Christian Cullen or Will Jordan. Says Jake Doyle, what is it for? Is it under the high ball? Because only one of those two would win that battle at the moment. Now going off to the left-hand side. Chance again here. Step for the Samoans. Now getting over the ball. Ayaza right on it and gets the steal. That's nicely done by Chile. Once again, steal it. We have the Black Ferns winger is 18, and she's one of the best lady wingers in the world. So here's Big Rig. Are you working this? I assume you're talking this Monday, maybe, from Mohudin. Just the 5 minutes remaining. I better update the scoreboard while we are at it. That one has to find touch, and it has done just that. Just getting the Chilean numbers there. We'll go like this. Now line out throw. Diego Escobar. Taking it nicely. Just want to check to see what the line is at the moment. Oh, penalty. Going the way of Chile again. That's now going to be the double blow of the whistle from Andrew Brace. Samoa already on their last warning. They've already received a yellow card. Are you bringing the YouTube people next week? Who are the YouTube people? Out of curiosity. Oh, is that Vic and Vern maybe? Are they the YouTube people? Or at least the nickname for the YouTube ones? We have there, okay, Sonny Bill Williams or Matanonu. Says Jake Toa. Oh, it depends on who's with them. I think that Matanonu was great when he had Conrad Smith with him. And the shot is called here by Chile. You don't seem superficial. Says Costa. I mean, I'm literally sitting here with a buzz cut, so it would be pretty hard to be. There, yes, says Mohadeen. I went to Auckland a few weeks ago. I let my son trial out for the Manu Samoa under 13s team. Didn't make it. We never played league, only rugby as such. He kept trying to hit rucks. The year we didn't make it. Said Johnny Blaze, although it would have given him a good indication of whereabouts that kind of level is and if he wanted to go down that route. Now, kicks it down the middle, and that is a kick and a half from Chile. They now lead 25 points to 8. This is a differential and a half right here. Samoa just can't do a trick. If Samoa loses this match, who will they play next? They will play Chile again next week. You can run through, or can you run through 100 international rugby players for $1 million? Says Big Rig. And next year, my son will play rugby on Saturday and league will be on Sunday, so he can play both codes and hopefully make Manu Samoa team next year. Says Johnny Blaze. Now Chile, currently with just the 3 minutes remaining in this first half, they currently sit with a 25 points to 8 lead. I don't think anyone was predicting this kind of scoreline between these two sides. Even the ones who were happy to see Chile in action thought that this was going to be that little bit closer than we are currently sitting. But it has just been, like, you can't describe it as anything but a bit of brilliance from the way that Chile have been able to handle this game and the fact that Samoa just haven't quite found their rhythm. Do you think we need a new 10? I don't know what Samoa need at the moment, to be honest, because I think it's just handling skills. Because the amount of times that they have dropped the ball and stopped a really good chance has been far too often. Now Alamono Motonga breaking through. That's a forward pass, or at least it looked that way. Now Tupai's going to score it, but I think they'll check this. And it may be a great finish from Samoa, but I'm hesitant to update the scoreboard, as I just don't know if that ball actually drifted backwards in the pass. But if it did, it would be Connor Tupai. Does manage to score it. We have got there, do you know who the referees, or who the two referees are for next weekend's games? I'm actually not sure as of yet. Just really nicely done by Tupai. And it sounds like they need to kick up and long hell. Have they had their coach? Might be time for fresh eyes. And really hasn't paid his coaching dues to get the head coach Samoan job. Now, 90 seconds remaining. They seem like they have checked it. Oh, hang on. There it is. Double blow of the whistle. This one is a forward pass. I'll tell you that right now. If they go upstairs to check it, it's going to be no try. They're checking the pass. I'm going to take the points off them now. I called it as a forward pass at the time, and that is a forward pass. I am guaranteeing it right now. And Lowell says Nars Williams, who Samoa's team for this game is Christian Leliofano. We have got there. Samoa teams is made up a lot of MLR players at the moment. This team, here we go. Yep, forward. I'm surprised that they missed it live, to be honest. And I wish I totally get my Kiwi Lads fixed for today. Now I can go window shopping in Durban Central later at midnight. So it's going to be no try for Samoa. They are back down to 8 points. And the TMO checked the Wallabies try and cleared it. Yeah, they obviously had a different TMO for that one. And it is the right call. It is a bit frustrating for Samoa, but of course, can't really help that one too much. Just about the 70 seconds remaining before the halftime break. They're saying they need to try and find something back here. 17 points difference. Timo has 2 eyes and isn't drunk. Says Big Rig. Looks like another change, or at least Game has made his way back out onto the field. And that means that Saab will make his way off. I think that Chile would be more than happy just to use up this 50 seconds and then make their way off the field. Hey, look, happy Samoa had no try. I was only happy because I called it from the get-go. I said it was a 4 pass. I was surprised that they gave it as a try. And then when they showed it as it was a 4 pass, then I wasn't really surprised. Is this a head-to-head contest? Then Samoa must score immediately to score the deficit down. Yeah, so it is a 2-match series between these two sides. Next game, though, I believe is taking place in Chile. So, if Samoa are down, that home crowd of Los Cóndores is really going to try and get behind them. Chile think it's all over. Says Big Rig. How does this work? If Samoa lose this game and win the second game, what now? So if Samoa win the second game by a bigger margin than Chile won this game, theoretically, just metaphorically speaking, then Samoa would go through. So it's all based off how many points you get between both matches, so your aggregate. So let's say, for instance, the score in this game was 8 points to 25, and then in the next game, just as an example's sake, Samoa, let's say, win 40-0. Samoa's aggregate would actually be 48-25, so that would mean that they go through. Same can be said about Chile. If they win both games straight away, then they're just through. And that would be more than ideal for this Chilean side, but that is going to be half-time in this matchup, ladies and gentlemen. 8 points to 25, far from the half that the Samoans would have been after. And like I said earlier on, it is just far from the scoreline that many people were expecting for this matchup. I wonder whether or not they have got live odds for this one again, now that we're at halftime. I think they normally get rid of them by about halfway. I know that they came in as $2.60 underdogs, Chile. And we have got there, hi Hamish and everyone, Chile playing some good rugby. Says Lilia B, they've played some fantastic rugby throughout the first half. Samoa, they've lacked a little bit of discipline. And it actually seemed like Chile were going to be doing that at the start of the game. But Oh, I'd say they brought it back very nicely. And going to be some locker kicking and downcast eyes in the Samoan changing room. And how can Samoa succeed? The chairman of the Rugby Society in Samoa is untrustworthy and corrupt. I feel for the boys. So here's a Pelu there. And Lily B welcoming. She was there from Xander. We have got their last game. The Samoans also played poorly. What's going on with them? Yeah, I don't know. They just are not anywhere near where you'd think they would be at the moment. And that's a massive concern for them. Because, you see where they're sitting now. And it's just not working. In the URC Friday night, I am hoping to. It will be the Saturday morning for us here in New Zealand. What time is kickoff between Fiji and Japan? That one's going to be kicking off in 5 hours' time. I am also going to be covering that one on the channel alongside Tonga versus Canada in the third place playoff match. Yeah, halftime, 25-8. Samoa are going to need a big change in the second half, or even just to try and mitigate that kind of differential a little bit. Just joined from 7 Nooks in England. Can't believe the score says Nicks. Yeah, it's quite surprising, to say the least. And how much your level 1 fade cost, Hamish? You can buy some cheap clippers at the warehouse and use 2 mirrors to nail that. No more pay barber. Well, the barber gave it to me on the house because I had only been there 6 days prior. So even though I insisted on paying a couple times, she said, nah, you were here literally the other day, so you're not paying for it. And Chile 12 would make most of the top 5 teams in the world. His great goal kicking and his ability to play 10, 12, 13, 11, 14, and also 15. Says Zach. At 7 Oaks. Says Big Rig. And also over there, Wales is also doing bad, says Mohadeen. And then Samoa must score first after half. Time the less they lose, the better. Or win even for Samoa. And nice one. Says Nas Williams. And Michael Walatoa doesn't seem to inspire anyone on the team. To be honest, Samoa need a vocal captain. Says Robert T. And if the scores are close this game, I assume the second game would be important. Absolutely. I think the second game is important no matter what heading into this one, because if we've seen the scoreline here, theoretically we could see the scoreline the other way around for the second, but it just doesn't seem that likely at the moment. Got amazing wireless clippers on sale from the shaving shop in Australia. So here's Jake. It looks like we got some sort of halftime show here out there on the field. Some drums and some big feathers. At the stage, we're looking through at the second half of this contest. We will go like this, and we will go like that as well. Ray Nuia to make his way off the bench for the Samoans in this one. We've already seen Adams make his way onto the field, and that was due to the early injury of Aki Seuli. They have got Henry Taifu. They have got the option of Lamb, Papali'i. Those guys are all the type of players who added a bit more of an impact later on. The game up against the USA, and Tomasi Alosio sitting in there as the number 23. So far, we have seen just the one change that briefly happened for Chile, and that was Sayab making his way onto the field for the injury of Game, but back out there. They are just showing those early handling errors from Samoa that were hurting them quite badly. I feel like, heading into this game, the one next week, 8:30 a.m. on Sunday morning, New Zealand time, between Chile and Samoa. If Chile are leading that head-to-head by 15 plus, with that game taking place in Chile as well, it's going to be extremely tough for the Samoans to find any sort of way back into this head-to-head. And then you go into the repechage, and that is just a lottery and a half for the teams as well. You want to have your spot already secured by that stage, but no one is too safe up until that second game has already happened. We have their wireless clippers, damn flash. Says Nas Williams. And we have there also Ush, says Johnny, and also are those girls from Chile. I can't tell, says Robert T. I think they were Samoan, I want to say. With the drums as well. Matavao is heavily needed, says Mark, although he's not even playing in this match. Malani Matavao, he did get himself the yellow card last week, didn't he? So I think they took him out of the lineup. Anyone else fasting till KFC opens this morning, says Nas Williams. What time does KFC open? I guess it depends on where you are, doesn't it? Some places probably 10 or 11-ish. Will Samoa play, or who will Samoa play if they can't beat Chile in the 2 games? Then they go through to the repechage, where they go up against, I think it is maybe Uruguay or Brazil or someone like that alongside a European team. I think a couple of them still have to be slightly confirmed. If Samoa plays India, we might win. Says Jake Toa. Los Cóndores, says Humberto. And they have just played a really great game of rugby. In fact, they probably have one of the try of the year contenders there, the way that they were able to offload that ball around in the early stages for the try of Santiago Pedrero. And they've just been smart. In terms of the way that they've played, they haven't thrown that ball around majorly. They've made good decisions, and also off the kicking team being very sharp from that department as well. So it's actually hard to probably criticise too much of Chile's game. If anything, maybe a couple loose tackles, I should say. But other than that, I'd say that they'll be happy as going into that second half. Uruguay is confirmed, says Mikhail. And feel so fat watching an extremely fit Ali Kildun zip around like Speedy Gonzalez while eating fried chicken and chips, says Big Rig. They are just showing there that try that was disallowed from the Samoans. It was due to the forward pass. It's definitely not what they were after in this one. But what we will quickly do is we'll go like this. We will go like that as well. We have got that. Surely Samoa can beat Brazil or Uruguay to qualify for the World Cup. The thing is, though, that was what people were saying about this game. People said surely they'll beat Chile. They beat them at the Rugby World Cup by about 40 points. But it's not the case. At this stage, they will be lucky if they don't lose this game by 40 points. Repechage includes Belgium and Namibia, and one of either Paraguay and Brazil, says the reviewer there. Well, there you go. So, yeah, a few tough sides like Namibia. I wouldn't want to play Namibia in the future. Like, you know, they're a decent enough side when they get it going. Penalties conceded 7 against Samoa compared to the 5 of Chile. Possession in favour of the Chileans, 57%. Tackles made. Chile have missed 15 of their 81 tackles made. And scrums won. We've seen some decent scrums from the Chileans. But Samoa actually only missing 7 tackles. But of those 7 tackles, we've probably seen 3 tries scored out there on the board. Samoa dreadful, says Johnny Blaze. Second half, I would say we are not too far away from getting underway as the people on the field start to make their way off. Someone's blowing an ear horn here, so I assume that is what pretty much is the sign for them to get off the field. I don't know whether or not that was the end of the song or whether that was literally just they were told, hey, when the ear horn goes, get off. It seems like that might have been the case. And Chile never ever beat Samoa, I'm guessing. Says cool story. They haven't played each other too much in the past, but at the moment, I mean, you know, that Rugby World Cup 2023 match between these two sides. We'll just look at the score in that contest. It was a part of Pool D, 43-10. So Chile have already doubled and some in terms of how many points they were able to get in that contest. Now, throughout that game, we actually saw 2 yellow cards in the second half for the Chileans. And then in the first half, we saw Ulupano Junior Saltini get himself a yellow card for the Samoans. He is not playing in this match. Duncan Paiaua scored the try in the first half for Samoa. He is not playing in this match. Jonathan Tamatine, he scored the try in the second half alongside Fritz Lee and Sama Malolo got 2. Guess what? None of them are playing for the Samoans here. So, you know, it's always going to be hard to find that cohesion right from the get-go when you're losing all these players each and every week. I've got there, maybe Samoa, I must have a second half. What does the Springboks will have against the All Blacks? Says Mornay. And Chile and Uruguay are actually improving a lot. Absolutely. I think that South American rugby has come in a really long way in just recent times. Samoa, more traditional in rugby than Chile. Chile is coming up. And Ardie Samoan, best rugby player in the world. And also Super Americas is helping a little bit. We see the Chilean flag there in the stands. They will be loving the action that they have seen so far. Chile playing really well, taking their chances when they're in possession, running hard and competing at the breakdown. Samoa looking really lost after set plays. General play trying to throw the 50-50, says Ben. Yeah, that was probably proven by that try that was disallowed for the Samoans, just trying to rush it a little bit too much. And, it's just a situation where, maybe Samoa can't win this game. But at this point, they have to score at least 1 or 2 tries and get back within 10. I would say anything less than 10 should be makeable in Chile. It's not going to be easy. They'll have to find a much better rhythm, but they can start taking that ball and handling it a lot better. 10 points, I think, is makeable in terms of the catch-up period. But anything more than that, Chile at home with a crowd behind them, it's going to be very hard to take it away from them. I think the Black Ferns could take on Samoan or Welsh men, says Big Rig there. I don't know how that matchup would go. Although I know that the Black Ferns definitely did not quite give the Canadians the run for the money that they were after. But it's interesting in the Women's World Cup because it is actually 1 versus 2 in the final and 3 versus 4 in the third place playoff. So it actually worked out exactly the same as the odds, or in terms of the rankings. No chance Manu under 16s. I would beat the Black Ferns. There's Robert T. And Rassi must coach Samoa, says Mohadin. And also we have got there, but could this be Samoa's second-rate team? Why are they performing like this? Very strange. They beat Italy not too long ago and Spain before last year's Pacific Nations Cup, using only Tier 2 club players, says Mark. Yeah, I think it comes down to, there are so many changes that have taken place, and I wouldn't say that they are completely, they have good moments. That's probably what makes it so frustrating for the coach, because every once in a while they find their rhythm and they actually do quite nicely. Mate, this is Samoa's third-rate team, but that's not an excuse, says Robert T. Yeah, this isn't their best players, says Stone Cold. But yeah, the sad reality is if they qualify for that World Cup in 2027, all those best players who avoided playing for them now will all go, yep, I'll play. I'll be a Samoan representative. But they don't really do the hard yards with the team. And you could argue that they've already, done that throughout the earlier stages of their careers. But yeah, it's going to be intriguing to see what kind of happens with the Samoan team and how many of these guys, if they do qualify for the World Cup, how many of these guys are even going to be there? For the neutral, it is nice to see underdogs winning, says Purple Dragon. That's bottom line because Stone Cold said so, says Big Rick. Now, second half just about to get underway. We still see a lot of support for the Samoans in the stands, which is fantastic to see. They're going to be kicking off this one from left to right. They have to play a bit of a territory game here. Try and force Chile back into their own half. Just keep their hands on that ball. I feel sorry for Pollard, says Mohadin. Don't feel too badly for him. He's a double world champ. Look at there, Samoa 17 points down. Australia were 22 points down. Remember what Australia did. Hopefully Australia inspires Samoa in the second half. Here's Mornay Lagrange. Second half, Chile come in as the favourites to go on and win this game. Wait to see whether or not they can get it going. Gotta go, brother. Have a blessed day. Brother, much love, says Johnny Blazer. We will see you later on. I wonder why Germany and Poland can't play rugby when all their neighbours play it. Well, to be fair, Germany are coming up in the 7 circuit. Is this only on Rugby Pass TV? I believe so. There might be a couple other options too, but I'm not 100% sure whereabouts to watch it. But Christian Leliofano kicking this one off for Samoa. They are currently down by 17 points. They have to sort out that discipline here. They want any chance of going on and winning this match. There we go. We will get the scoreboard ticking over again. There we go. 42 minutes through. 25 points to 8 at the moment. Hamish, how many games for today? We've still got another 2 matches. Tonga, oh, that's high. On Lalangi Vision, yeah, will be the penalty advantage for these Samoans. But yeah, we've got Canada versus Tonga for the third place playoff of the Pacific Nations Cup. And then alongside that, we've also got Fiji versus Japan in the Pacific Nations Cup final. Now off to the left again to Pai. On off to the left-hand side, Christian Leliofano. I have to say already, this seems like a more aggressive Samoan than we saw in the first half. It's as if maybe they've really been yelled at during the halftime break. And now breaking the line. Another offload there for Nanai. Pops it straight into the hands of the Chilean player. So they will have to go back for the initial penalty. However, there, what are the odds for a Chile win? Probably not high. They're pretty high at the moment. They are leading this game by 17 points. And the Canadian want to keep in touch. For the Canadian woman. And also second half endurance could make a difference for Samoa. The question is, do they have that second half endurance? We've talked about it multiple times, that Samoa do slow down as a match progresses. Now, 39 minutes remaining in this match, and they do have themselves the penalty. Now, time is going to be back on. It's going to be about maybe 15 metres out from the line. And the Canadian want to keep in touch. And also, Hamish, could you tackle Asia Hogan-Rochester? She's pretty big. She'd also be way too quick. I wouldn't be able to catch her. Now, line out throw. Peter Ane Asu. Line out chance here. Samoa all power and intensity, which never works out well for cardio. Teams like the Box, France and All Blacks run rings around them in the second half, says Big Rigger. Now rolling maul here for Samoa. That's actually something that they went to throughout the Pacific Nations Cup and didn't go too badly with. So that's just having to go back to the simple things for the Samoans, making good decisions about when to pass. I don't think Chile have been that threatening in the breakdowns a majority of the time. So there's no need to rush for those crazy offloads that we've been seeing from Manu Samoan. There is a player down at the moment for Chile with an injury. Now getting close to the line. The youngster on debut gets just a couple metres short. That is actually Santiago Pedrero, and another offload or another advantage, my apologies. Penalty, double blow the whistle. Chile get a yellow card. This is massive now for the Samoans. Looking like a little bit of confusion for the player. Is getting sent to the bin. Oh, not yet. I can stay another 20 minutes. Canada versus England next week is going to be a goodie. Both teams looking strong. Yeah, it seems like the best two sides, honestly, in the whole competition. Going head to head, but yeah, big frustration here. I believe it is actually Benjamin Videla, the young halfback. It's going to be sent from the field. Samoa want to take the quick tap, and they have now got the man advantage going to the short side. Oh, a big carry forward from what would have been Olojuwon Noah. Now pick and go from Asu, but the last thing that Samoa want is to get this one slightly wrong and end up getting held up now just short of the line again. Low body position. Michael Curry bent over backwards. Chile trying to keep the ball alive. Now short side. Passed out wide. Try in the corner for Samoa. And they will now be back into this contest a little bit. And they've still got about 8 minutes remaining of that yellow card to try and make up a bit of the deficit that they are down. But a much better start to the half for Samoa than the first. And vamos Chile, says Christian there. What do you think of the Women's World Cup final? I think it's too close to call. I think it's going to be close. Canada, you'd have to argue, have been the more consistent out of the two sides. England, though, have been strong from pretty much start to finish, with the exception of every once in a while. Come on, Samoa. Here's Johnny Blaze. And that is a good finish from Akuing. Have the Red Roses ever lost at Twickenham? Not very often if they have. I know that their game up against France at Twickenham, it was 43-42. And now Christian Leliofano. And it's high, just away to the side. Now still another 8 minutes remaining of Videla's yellow card. Already it's left just that little bit of a gap. The All Blacks out Eden Park. Got to keep that fortress on lockdown, says Big Rig. And of course they are to be playing there next weekend. But it is going to be Latrell Koing who does manage to score it. 5 minutes into the second half, the score's now separated by 12. Now kicked off long, close to the sideline, but it's a well-weighted kick from Chile. Liliofano keeping the ball alive. Michael Alalatoa now offloading on the inside to Olojoan Noah. Why that boy diving for the line? He's clearly got the try, says Robert T. I mean, if that's the way that he can avoid going into touch accidentally or dropping the ball, then I think Samoa would certainly take it at the moment. That one's going to be kicked out on the halfway line. Yes, Big Rig, or Big Joe is correct. The Red Roses are going to be on fire, especially with the home crowd behind them, says Johnny Blaze. They're asking for a bit more distance again there for the Samoan kick of Tupai. And real into my soul, says Big Rig. One out throw for Diego Escobar. Still plenty of time remaining in this match and almost contested at line out time from Samoa. Bit of a step coming in this time from Saavedra. Off to the right, 12 points separating them. Any sort of penalty here in favour of Chile, they would happily take. A little bit of wrestling almost going on the ground there. In the sides, I like to think that maybe Patelo Mapu would have taught them that that's not the best approach in this scenario. Still got that extra man. Samoa get another try push to these Chileans. Says Big Rig. Now moving that little bit closer. Looks like another player down for Chile. So maybe fatigue will start to set in. And a little bit of hurt as well from these big collisions. Chipped in behind, all close to the sideline. No option for Samoa but to just run that ball into touch. If they have Samoa lose, they will be the worst Samoan team in history, says Falifatu, although they will be playing next week up against Chile as well. Chile will jump to 16th spot, up by 4 spots if they win, says Stefan. Yeah, no option there for Nanai other than to just run that ball into touch 5 metres out from the line. Now Chile in a very good position. I don't know why I'm cheering for Samoa. I'm neutral. Just don't like to see good sides go bad. It's going to be thrown in. Nicely claimed by Saavedra. Now moving this one. There's about maybe 3 or 4 backs in this rolling maul too. They are getting close. Oh, just short of the line. Samoa trying to do absolutely everything they can to stop them, but they'll get over there. Chile score. And they get themselves another one. That was, I believe, Matthias Garafulik, who does get over the line. Just like that, they move up to 30. So Samoa, even with the man advantage, can't stop this Chilean attack. Like they said, almost a 14-man maul there. Getting everyone moving. Well, that's ball games. Samoa's really failed. And still got that extra man, Samoa. And if any of these two teams lose, will they still be able to qualify? They absolutely will be. They would be through to the repechage. If they do, of course, lose the 2-match aggregate series. Now the Europeans are coming up strong, says Kiwi Express. I'm taking some deep breaths at the moment now. Trying to line up this kick for Videla. They don't really need to take too much in terms of trying to keep this game moving along here, Chile. They can just kind of breeze a little bit. But the penalty, first of all, or not even the penalty, sorry, just ending up in the corner for the Samoans off a good kick in behind from Chile, playing the territory game well. The Europeans are coming up strong, says Kiwi Express. And one day the Europeans will take over the Islanders in rugby, and Rugby Canada women coming for the Red Roses, says Marlon. And there as well, but that one has gone into touch about 25 metres out from the line. What channel is this? It is on Rugby Pass TV. To be able to watch this one. Was the try scored in the corner? That explains the misconversion. I mean, a try for Samoa. Yeah, it was right in the corner for Samoa. I will mention that the kick of Chile did go over. So that has made the score 32 points to the 13. Now 50 minutes. That one's not straight. And it means that Samoa have conceded the scrum now too. You can just see the defeated looks on the players' faces here as well. This is going far from what they would have liked. Oh, look at that. Oh dear, oh dear. Yeah, it seems like every little mistake that Samoa could make in this game, they have been making. It does not add up too well at the end of this contest. This will use up an extra maybe minute or so of the yellow card time for Benjamin Videla. Now, it looks like Juan Cruz Reyes is actually going to be playing as the 9 in this scenario. And they call that Sod's Law. Oh, what can go wrong will go wrong. So here's Big Rig. Now, big push from Samoa. Chile breaking off the back. Collision there with Christian Leleofano. Now, trying to step their way through. They're playing in Santiago, says Mikhail. They are not. They're playing in Utah, and another penalty going the way of Samoa. They aren't able to take it quickly as they weren't quite on that mark. Just arriving and then pulled down. They have kicked it for the corner again. This one will be about 10 metres out from the line, although lineouts is where they've really been struggling throughout this one. Heck yes, Samoa, says Mark there. And Samoa's worst ranking was 20th, whereas the Samoa of 2007 that gave South Africa such hard times. Samoa must not drop their heads. Must believe until the last minute. Yeah, like I said, they have to lose this game by less than 10. Or 10 or less, somewhere around there. Because anything more than that, I just don't see a way back in. And now, Anaya Suit. Sitting 10 metres out from the try line. Chile doing well, defending yet again. Flat run forward from Theo Stephanie. And the thing is, he's on debut. Yeah, he's been one of the stronger players out there for Samoa. Now trying to get the steal and the breakdown. Iyaza told to get out of it and gives away the penalty advantage. Now playing with that penalty advantage. Enormous bribes maybe. Says Big Rig. Like as in like for who? The Samoan players or like the coaches, or who you're saying's been bribed? Now going off to the right-hand side. Big sling and pass. Stepping on the inside. 5 metres out from the line. A big collision for Eliza Pita Alafipo. That's one of the first times he's had the ball throughout this whole contest. Quick hands from Samoa. Sitting 5 metres out. A ball stare again to Pai. Short ball and he's at his neck on the post there. That one's got to hurt for the Samoan player. It looks like the ball is going to be short and available. Good night all. Going to inspect the inside of my eyelids. That one's going to be checked here. Right, they're saying it is short, but if it's short, surely you just keep on playing until... Unless maybe Samoa have actually said that they feel like they got it over. I would say is the factor there. The on-field decision is no try. Okay, they'll go back for the advantage initially. So that is at least one good news for Samoa, is that they already would have had the penalty. Nick here, cool dude, middle lad. Says Mark as well. We're seeing the replay. That's going to be very hard to see a grounding. And 32-12 is crazy. Says Jeff. Oh. Okay. The initial effort was short. And that looks like that one might be over afterwards, though. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Unfortunately, though, we can't tell whether or not that is over the line from the behind angle. So the crowd like it. Yeah, I don't know whether or not they're going to give this. I don't think the benefit of the doubt goes to Samoa on attack here. It's pretty close, though. We're not going to quite be able to see it because of Chilean players. So I think this one is going to be called as no try because the on-field was also a no try. I'm going to stick with on-field decision of no try. And it is going to be now Samoa's penalty, so that is at least one good thing for them. But Chile will now be back to the full amount of players on the field. Olajuwon Noah not happy. What's wrong with Samoa Rugby? Unfortunately, they have just hit a bit of a brick wall. And, you know, this is one of those games that they have to be close. Probably in 10 years, I can see the Europeans in the world rankings will be between 5 and 15. Says Kiwi Express. We see there now a change is being made, or at least it looked like it was going to be changed. Patelo Mapu was about to make his way onto the field. Something's wrong with Samoa Rugby when players are choosing NPC over international rep. Yeah. And you could argue it's a little bit the same with Fiji at the moment. There are a few of those guys, but the likes of a Miracle Whailangi could have made a big difference to the Samoan side. But, like you said, they would prefer to play NPC than internationals. It's a shame a lot of key players from from Moana Pacifica aren't playing for Samoa, especially considering Moana is supposed to be a team to develop players for Samoa and Tonga. True. There's a lot of those guys still playing in New Zealand for NPC sides that could definitely help this team out. Now, line out throw, nicely taken, not contested there by Chile, and now the Samoan rolling maul. It's going to be set quite nicely. Can you only watch the rugby matches live? Says stuck. And there, so your option if you do want to watch this one rather than just listen to me talk about it is Rugby Pass TV. Depending on where you are in the world, could depend on if it is a free-to-air option. Now, they've been dragged down. Samoa, short side now. Chance out wide, getting driven sideways. Bad decision, running out of space. And brilliant defense from Chile again. Yes, where is Miracle Whailangi? Is literally him. Right, they're going to be making a change here for HIA of number 14. Also, Samoa and South American rugby is coming up. So I'm not surprised Chile is playing well. They have a lot of talent around. How did you like Canterbury versus Otago? Great game of rugby. Going down to the wire between the two sides. We actually ended up covering it on the channel with my mum, and she thoroughly enjoyed it. But no, a very close game between those two sides, and kind of summarised the NPC as a whole in terms of what we have seen throughout this season. If Samoa wants their top players, pay them money talks. And thank you. I think I'm going to listen to you commentate. It's kind of better. Says stuck in Wano there. Well, it is greatly appreciated. This might be a TMO decision here taking place. Might be Matthias Ditus. I find himself in a little bit of trouble here. Go Chile, says Papa. And also, Moana Pacifica is a New Zealand team paid by the NZR. The shareholders, all New Zealand based. They have the option open from Samoa to buy shares and gradually take over Moana Pacifica. They're too incompetent to do that, so it's a sad affair. And if they draw, do they both qualify for the World Cup? So apparently it comes down to who has scored more tries, and then from there it's who's higher up in the world rankings. Is what it sounds like. And hola amigo, and desde Chile. Says Papa, it is greatly appreciated you being here. It will be a Chilean 5-metre line out, just out from their own line. Did the yellow card time end? As, yep, 25 minutes remaining. Now Chile. Another throw here for Diego Escobar. Now Maul. We see Joel Lamb is onto the field. That is for Connor Tupai. Now working it towards the sideline. Here's Samoa defending nicely. Running out of space. Oh, ball still in the field of play. And that may just about be the try for the Samoan number 17, Jared Adams, who got the charge down on the short side. They will check this with the TMO. Okay, Andrew Brace has just said there under his breath, I believe Samoa has got the ball first. Now, did Jared Adams just win a foot race to help them get back into this game that little bit more? Samoa should play the ball on the open, not the blind side. Bad decision, I agree. Yeah, they're just kind of trapping themselves. Right, they're checking here to see if he was onside. Oh, was he a part of this maul? Okay, it's going to be no try because he was a part of the maul. So it's another disallowed one and a Chilean penalty against Samoa. See, Samoa, the TMO can be your friend. Can it? We have got there. I think the Samoan team should recruit some of the Samoan women. They could probably play better or not. Says Big Rick for the TMO being the friend. But yeah, sadly, you are not allowed to go through the middle of a maul to be able to charge it down. going to have a quick look again and see what it sits at. Go like that. And go like that. They've actually just said that that same charge down would have been fine last year. But this year, no. Now, New Zealand and England is the only countries that won the men's and the women's Rugby World Cups. It's a good kick downfield from Chile. Put them about 30 metres out from their own line. Looks like a little bit of cramp setting in for Juan Cruz Reyes in Canada men's. Need to take a leaf out of the success page of the women's team, says Marlon, and they are playing just around the corner. We are going to be covering that game on the channel as well. Oh, a not straight call there on the Chilean line-out. What says Sam? I assume that's looking at the scoreline. The scoreline is correct, believe it or not. The Chileans are winning this game by a hefty margin in a 2-match series for Rugby World Cup qualification. My nationality is the TMO because I might need extra security on his flight home. It is Marius van der Vesterhuizen of South Africa. Man is a popular TMO for all the wrong reasons. If Samoa doesn't make it to the World Cup, then they either enter this group into the men's, or then they're going to enter this group into the men's Netball World Cup, says Falifatu. Although that might not go too well because they can't catch the ball too well at this point in time. And it's weird because sometimes you see the silkiest, smoothest moves from the Samoans, but just a bit of inconsistency. Joel Lamb out there on the field though. Leleofano with a short ball into the hands of his inside centre. Samoa need 2 tries before the end of this game if they want any chance of qualifying for that next Rugby World Cup. Out popping that ball up again to the right-hand side. Big collision once more. Now Leleofano, another step. And it's going to be Tomasi Alosio. Initially, they were told to get out of there, Chile. Now off to the left-hand side. Leleofano, short ball to Alamunda Matunga. And he's got far too much pace and scores between the posts, the big number 7. And they are now back to within 13, 12 points down. Still 20 or so minutes remaining on the clock as Chile starting to slow down a little bit here. And there's Alamanda Matunga with a brilliant finish there. And just pure pace. Leleofano, flat ball. That time I think it was just about backwards. Vamos, Chile, says Pablo. Yeah, phenomenal game so far from the Chileans. Well, we see now Samoa starting to try and push them later on in this matchup to bring us back to a level playing field. They're still better than the first half, but still Chile looks stronger, says Big Rig. Like they've said there, in the points differential, Samoa with this kick going over would be -12. Samoa like Australia. And also Ola Pablo. Right now, just out in front of the post. It does get it straight down the middle. Atualangi is going to run it straight to all the boys, one by one. When they get home, says Falifatu. And Ola says Pablo there. Yeah, good finish from Alamanda Matunga, who had pure pace. For a guy who's been out there for 60 or so minutes, you really wouldn't have thought it with the amount of speed that he was able to develop in such a short amount of space. Now 20 minutes left into the final quarter of this contest. I mentioned how Samoa want to be within 7. Right, sounds like Chile are starting to plan a couple subs here. Might be quite important at this stage of the match. Andrew Brace just giving them the ball around the halfway line. Santiago Videla getting ready to kick this one off. Oh, drop ball backwards from the Samoans. They've got very lucky there to not end up conceding a scrum just out from their own line. A good run from Papali'i. Starting to move it away to the side here, Samoa, and starting to almost play with a little bit of freedom in this game. It's as if they just needed that one big breaking run and the penalty going the way of Samoa. Chile offside. So momentum shifting here in this contest. Andrew Bracey's been strict on that offside line, not letting anyone away with anything. And this match now comes to come back. Another try immediately. Then Samoa will believe they can win this match, says Monet Lagrange. Well, that's the thing. Samoa, the last couple times that they've scored, straight away afterwards they concede. And Chile managed to get themselves one back. Now, in this scenario, I would argue that Samoa, one more here, you know, even if it ended at that score, they'd probably still be relatively happy with where they were in this game compared to where they finish. How many hours till Tonga or Japan game? So Tonga, they're going to be playing in 1 hour, 25 minutes time or somewhere around there. Whereas Japan versus Fiji is taking place in 4.5 hours time. So still a little while until that match does take place. Michael Alalatoa goes across to Christian Leleofano. A low tackle made on Patelo Mapu. And my auntie in Samoa has called, saying she broke her TV watching the game. Says Valifatu, but now ball on the outside. She might miss a great finish in this match. Ben Nini taking a shot on the jaw, I think he was saying. I'll run forward from Rain Nuia. And Chile get the steal and the breakdown. 3 Samoan players trying to get through and take him out of there, but not able to do it. Do it for the rock. Do it for the people, to quote Rikishi. Always the lock, always on the wing. He's slow, says Robert T. Yeah, it's a different tactic, isn't it? Having the winger as a lock. I guess he's at least got the long stride, so maybe they're working on the theory it takes less steps to get anywhere. Oh, Chile just being told to speed up there. They have been told not to slow this down near the end of this game. About 18 minutes remaining, 2 more tries. And go Chile, says Patariki there. And then I'll be sleeping night from South Africa, says Stefan. And there you go, it will be a middle of the night game for you guys over in South Africa. Right, we'll go like this. We'll go like that as well. There we go. And different is a diplomatic way of putting it. Says Big Rig. Looks like another change is about to be made for the Samoans. Going to be Potu Leawasa. Will make his way onto the field now for the final 18 minutes of the match. Right, water has been called off, so there was still a little bit of a stoppage there compared to how long they would have liked it to be. Come on, Samoa, says Ski. Chile, at the moment, they are in position. It looks like a couple more changes being made. Michael Alalatoa, he will make his way from the field, as well as Michael Curry. So the 2 Michaels going off. And it's going to be for, I believe, it would have to be for Leovasa, like I mentioned. Now, Chile sitting about 25 metres out from the try line. I've got still 17.5 minutes remaining. I'm ready to throw it in. Chile. Diego Escobar, he's had a pretty decent day at line-out time. Making a huge amount of mistakes. And honestly, Chile have been going pretty good in terms of set piece in general. I don't believe they've lost a scrum as of yet, but that's nicely plucked out of the sky by Santiago Pereiro. Now rolling forward that little bit more for Chile. They move inside of Samoa's 22. Now 17 minutes still left in this match. They've been told not to change the bind. It's become a pretty ugly one. I don't even know where that ball's ended up for Chile. There are players spinning all over the place. It pops onto the side of Samoa, but Chile will get themselves the penalty. And this should be a nice, easy 3. If they want it. Unless they want to go for the corner. Why is Samoa so bad? Says Patariki there. 2 more tries and an automatically qualifier to the Men's Rugby World Cup. Says Angela there. And also we have got there, go the Manu, says Asal. And also we have got there, even at 51, I'd still put money on Mark Hunt against any of these lads, says Big Rig. Now getting ready to kick this one into touch. They have decided that they want those bonus points because at the end of the day, like, yes, winning this game is important, but you want to increase that points differential as much as physically possible to feel quite confident heading into that next leg. They will go head-to-head up against the Chileans. Now ready to throw it in for Chile. 16 minutes remaining now. That clock is continuing to tick over. Another advantage going against Samoa for early engagement. That's not being so rude to Manu Samoan. What is wrong with you all? Says Angela there. Now pick and go. Drop ball from Chile. But it will be another double blow of the whistle here from referee Andrew Brace. Right, Christian Leliofano just getting a little bit of a warning there. Okay, early contact. Leliofano just asking the questions. Of course, he's not normally involved in those rolling mauls. But time is off, and another change is just about to be made. Go like this, go like that as well. And we go like this to make sure that the scoreboard sits roughly where it's supposed to. But if Chile score now, all of Samoa's hard work once again disappears from being able to work their way slightly back into this contest. They give it all, and it's all that matters. Now, pick and go again for Chile. The best case scenario here for Samoa is actually to hold up the Chileans just short of the try line. I don't think they're going to be able to get the steal here. That is close to being down. Just 1 metre short again. In fact, less than that. Probably half a metre. Now up and over. Are they held up? Yes, they are. Brilliant defence from Samoa and exactly what they needed. That's a problem when you feed the boys chicken and chips while staying at the motel. To be fair, I'd love a chicken and chips combo at the moment. At least 20 scores better than 0. Says Angela. And also good defence Samoa. And that is exactly what they needed. I don't think that defending on the goal line was ever going to lead to anything other than either a try or held up. Or maybe the advantage as well. But Samoa surviving because 3 points could have been scored by Chile. What did you eat? Says Mohadin. I did not get a chicken and chips combo. I had chicken and chips for lunch. It was delicious. Now awkward bouncing ball picked up by Chile. And wow. I don't know whether Ray Nui actually got any of his arms involved there. I'm going off to the left-hand side again. Chile still 30 metres out, and it's a drop ball. That is a rare mistake. The buzz says, hello, kitty girl. We did end up with South Africa beating New Zealand in New Zealand. Plus, we hit the light goal, so the hair came off. There's some frustration there. The coach at this point in time of Vamos Chile says Stratoshev. All right, double lower the whistle and time is now back on. I think Pat Lam is a good choice for coach with Seilala being back as an assistant. If Samoa do make it to the World Cup, says Mark. I never heard of Chile before. Are they past? Or are they part of the island groups? They are not. They are a part of South America. And they were at the last World Cup. Samoa did go head-to-head with them. That game, Samoa won 43 points to 10. So it just shows in 2 years how much stronger Chile have got in terms of their rugby overall. Now, big collision at scrum time. Joel Lamb does put the ball in. Chile equals South America, so no bonus points. No bonus points whatsoever. And a penalty now goes the way of Samoa. Let's see, we'll go like this. And like this. Hopefully, with a little bit of luck. There we go. And we have got there, they're next to Argentina, if that helps, says Big Rig. Now, that one's kicked downfield. Wow, what a kick that is. Getting about the maximum distance possible on that one. Christian Leliofano with just the 12 minutes remaining in this match here. So the question is, can Samoa get one more try? And perhaps can they even get two? Imagine this game ends in a draw. You should try fish and chips, also a tasty combo. Says Mono Lagrange. And going forward, Tonga and Japan to win their matches. Says Purple Dragon Universe. Now, Ray Nuia. Oh, what's happened there? Ray Nuia was ready to throw it. He never threw the ball. I think that is just a really poor mistake there from Samoa. I believe it actually happened not too long ago. I hope I spelt Piatal right. We might have a guest for the Pacific Nations Cup live stream, ladies and gents, between Canada and Tonga. That one taking place in around an hour and 10 minutes' time. Ready to throw this one in. The Samoans have still got themselves the line out. Go Toa Samoa, says Nauti there. And WDF was at, just a massive miscommunication between the two sides was going forward. Tonga and Japan win their matches. Getting ready to throw this ball in. Nicely taken by the Samoans. To the left-hand side, Christian Liliofano. That is a hard bulldozing run up the middle of the park. Now, left-hand side, Lulangi Vision, puts in the fend, trying to bump off the opposition here. Samoa seem like they're starting to find their rhythm just that little bit more. Now, Alamanda Matunga. He needs a big breaking run like he had not too long ago. We have got there. How do you keep a straight face with all the comments? I'm trying to make you laugh, says Valafatu. I think because I have been up for so many hours, my brain doesn't actually register them as quickly as as it should. So some of them I have a little chuckle in my head, but you don't get to see it. Only because of the fact that I've been up. Oh, that's an ugly injury there. Got bent in all sorts of weird directions. But it's just because we've been up for 24 hours. So it's nothing personal. We'll be commentating the Fiji versus Japan. We certainly will be, yes. But this looks like a bad injury here for Joel Lamb. I think they're going to go upstairs and see whether or not there is something more cynical behind this. Also, we're not funny. Amish is just polite, says Big Rick. That's not true. There's some very funny things that happen in the chats about these live streams. He got his head kind of bent backwards in a really awkward way. It doesn't look good, but it might not even be a yellow card here. Because how tight the game is, no bonus point for either team if they win. It is all just down to... Okay, it was unavoidable there, says the referee. So it is going to be the scrum beat going the way of the Samoans. But it is an intriguing one to know how much the differential here will impact the game. Because pretty much you're going into that next game with a handicap for a certain side. If Samoa were, for instance, to lose this game from here, at the scoreline, it would mean that they go in as pretty much heading into that game, Chile are 12-0 up at the start of the game. Samoa should play India to boost up their confidence. And none of the top-line Samoan players want to play anymore and chasing the dollars. Says Rick there. And they will all be back. And, it's an unfortunate one. Of course, now imagine when Samoa get their top players back instead of just their old players and club players from domestic comps, says Leighton. Although the big thing is they will still have to try and get to that World Cup. Because if they don't, then they will end up missing out on that opportunity. Samoa are going to go into next game as handicaps. Says Falifatu. And what happens is Mohadeen. So an awkward collision. He pretty much stepped to the side there for Joel Lamb. But he's only just made his way on and actually sped up the game quite a bit from making his way on. And Samoa playing again soon. And that will capture the imagination of the fans. RIP the Manu, says Rick. And also we have got there, so what happened if they beat Chile by a small margin in the second game? If they beat Chile in the second game, if this was the end score here, if they beat Chile by less than 12 points, they do not qualify. Okay, he was not too happy there, Joel Lamb. He was trying to say that maybe it should have been something a bit more. Should have been a card, but he will be instead going off for the HIA. But by the sounds of it, ladies and gents, we will have a guest for that Pacific Nations Cup stream. More than likely, if it all goes well. The selling point may have been Charles Piatal. I mentioned that he was playing. World Cup qualify. Wait, is he? Oh, yeah, he is playing. He's playing in the midfield. Thought for a second I might have set myself up for failure. One second, we'll go like this. We'll go like that as well. And like that. We're just getting the times all worked out. Now it's sitting 22 metres out from the line. Samoa breaking off the back. This is a dangerous run. Just out from the line. Did he get it down? Or was it potentially held up? A big finish could have been on the cards for Abraham Papali'i. He thinks he's just scored it. Still got to feed their families, don't forget that. Says Nas Williams and Chile team, all largely from a single club. And Chile play well nowadays. Congrats. This is the type of games that grow the game of rugby. Right, they just want to check whether or not this is a bit of double movement here. Whether they may have just finished it off. Right, did Papali'i get the job done? This would put Samoa back within 7. What a run, says Robert T. Right, seeing the replay, tackle was initially made. Does he get it down? Oh, he certainly does. That is a finish and a half from Papali'i. And now Samoa, with that try, someone's got an ear horn and they are blowing it for fun. Julian Savia vibes, says Robert T. Is this game live on Sky Sports? It is actually on Rugby Pass TV. Has Chile ever beaten Samoa before? Not that I know of. The last time that they met was the 2023 Rugby World Cup. Samoa won at 43-10. Now, Liliofano, just looking around very confused there. And don't worry, Hamish, I follow you on Instagram because I'm old fan. I'm still a big fan. Says Brandon. Yeah, anyone who doesn't already, be sure to check out the Kiwi Lads Instagram. It is the second link in the pinned comment. And Liliofano gets it over. Making a score now after 72 minutes. 27-32. This match can be easily a draw now, says Mornay. And wouldn't it be interesting if it did end as a draw? We would then get to see them go head-to-head next week, and it would be as if the first game didn't even happen. More like a trial run. Rugby Pass TV, does that mean Sky didn't think it'd be worth showing on Sky? Can I be honest with you? I think that Sky expected Samoa to win up against the USA. Because Samoa were favourites heading into that game up against the US, but then they lost it. So had Samoa won last week, I don't think they would have ended up picking up the licenses for this game. That looked like it was close to touch, although just in the field of play by the looks of it. And beat Chile. If Samoa had the same money as the top big countries, they would be the best in the world. So here's Robert T. And as Samoa qualified for the Rugby World Cup, they are not. So it is a 2-match series up against Chile. So they play aggregate. Whoever wins this game, of course, will have a slight advantage heading into the second match. But if they then lose the second match by a bigger margin than they won this first, they would be out. So it's a bit of a rough one. And that's actually what happened when Uruguay, I believe, up against Chile, ended up going to the repechage. As the second time Samoa played Chile. Says Stonewall, so the first time ever was 2023. Now, if Samoa had more money, they would eat more chicken and chips. Says Falifatu, to be fair, if I had more money, I'd eat more chicken and chips too. Depends on where you get your chicken and chips from, but it can be a bloody good time. One more score and take the win, Samoa. Says Angela, will still be a line out here for the Chileans. Oh, and that's going to be stolen by Samoa, who are starting to get a little bit more of a cheer from the crowd here. But Chile get themselves the penalty straight back. How can you watch the game in Australia? I believe it will be on Rugby Pass TV for those trying to watch in Australia. Go Chile, says Atun there. Vamos Chile, says Stradoshev. If I had more money, I'd go to way more rugby games, says Big Rig. Not on Stan Sports, so it is on Rugby Pass TV. All Chile taking on the 3 points here. And that is going to try and help secure the victory, but also just get that points differential up that little bit further in this match. To go to a single Women's Rugby World Cup game, even though it's been held here, says Big Rig. And go Samoa, go, says Angela. And there's an important kick for the Chilean number 12, Santiago Videla. He is listening to the raining of boos in Utah. They are not getting behind the Chilean. Someone's got an ear horn. They're blowing that again, trying to put him off. See whether or not. The thing is, though, if you're from Chile, you're probably used to that ear horn, aren't you, from the football side of things? And guess what? Straight down the middle, or was it? No, it's curled. Hit the post, didn't end up bouncing over, and instead ended up bouncing pretty much straight back down. Now Leleofano, charge down kick. Awkward one for Samoa, knocking the ball on. This might be worse for Samoa here with the fact that Chile missed that kick as they are now on hot attack, only 5 metres out from the line. They'll go back for the initial scrum. Feel bad for our black fans about the World Cup, says Karatiana. And Ali Samoa and go boys, says Rick. And Samoa's biggest win ever was Samoa 115, Papua New Guinea 7 in 2009. Looks like another injury for one of the Chilean. What was I saying? I forgot what I was saying midway through that sentence. We're seeing it curl and it just bounces and doesn't go over. Next week in Chile, I believe, yes, that game is going to be taking place as a Chilean home game. When the boys get their players, they'll have these pleasers. And do you believe the Samoa's temporary squad? Would you get the same squad here for the Rugby World Cup? I think there will be a lot of changes when it comes around to that Rugby World Cup squad. But they have to get to the World Cup first, or else that squad doesn't exist. So that's the tricky part. Samoa knocking the ball on. They definitely won't make the men's netball team. Hang on, TMO. What's this going to be for? Arias van der Vesterhuizen, and what's he found? It's going to be a collision more than likely. Is that it? Surely that's not it. We're going to see it here, head contact. Oh, he can't get much lower. If the Chilean player's going to duck his head into the opposition line, then he's going to get hit in the head, isn't he? I don't think there's anything in that, but Marius van der Vesterhuizen loves looking for something to blow up. Right, Andrew Brace says, nah, get out of it. It's going to be the scrum feed now for the Samoans. I also can't remember what you were saying because it was like a stream of consciousness. Nick Roll says, Stone Cold there. Okay, there's an injury here for one of the Chilean players. It may be cramp that he is dealing with. If Samoa plays the squad against New Zealand, Box, France, England, Pumas, Wallabies, Ireland, they're going to get obliterated. What did Chile do by accident? Says Mark. Accidentally dropped the head. Was that what I was saying? Possibly there. Yeah, it's not on Stand in Australia. So it is on Rugby Pass TV, which is like a separate website. That all you need is an email address and it should be able to work it out and allow you to watch this game. There's actually a few other competitions. Maybe you should find a blow-up doll. Or sorry, a doll to blow up. It's Samoa, you can do it, says Nix. Yeah, they are still within touching distance of this Chilean side. Now, of course, there will be quite a few players touching as they are in a scrum at the moment. All about to be fair down. How Ireland second, but they not playing. Says Mohadin, gone short side. Sorry, Chile actually have got the scrum feed. I thought that was the case initially, but it did sound like Andrew Brace said Samoa did have the scrum. Now Chile trying to finish this one off. A try here could end up with a lead of up to 12 points. The ball is out, 5 metres out from the try line now for Chile. We just hear their discipline being yelled out by Samoa's defence. They know that they can't rush up too quickly, or else get themselves penalised. Chile will have a hostile crowd, says Rick, and that's a knock-on from Chile. In fact, no, sorry, Samoa managed to get the steal from inside of their own 5 metre line. What's your prediction on the All Blacks vs Wallabies next weekend at Eden Park? I hope it's a good game. I hope it's relatively close. Samoa plays our local club, Northern United, at Jerry Collins Stadium. Samoa would lose, says Feli Fatu. That one's going into touch about maybe 32 metres out from the line now for this Manu Samoan side. And come on, says Naz Williams. All Blacks will have Roygaard and Clark back. Okay, so this game was good, says Story. It's actually turned out to be a really good game. Compared to how it looked like it was starting, I do think after that first kind of 20 minutes or so, people have really started to get into this game a lot more definitely throughout the second half. Thrown in, taken there by Samoa. And it will now be the rolling maul. There's a risky time to play it because Chile have been pretty good at defending said rolling maul. They're trying to get through the middle. It looks like the ball is available for Tupai to make his way back out onto the field due to the injury we did see of the replacement number 21. To be honest, this can mean if Samoa lose here, that means second game they will take it more seriously, says Mark. Will Cam Roygaard be available to play next weekend? I believe so. He did play for Manawa too, didn't he? The Bunnings FBC, Tupai kicking it in behind, chasing after this one. Is to Marcialo Sio. Ball knocked back by Chile, says the referee. And ball's still going to be there for Chile. 2 minutes remaining on the clock now. In fact, it's ticking over to closer to 1. And it looks like Chile will go for the box kick here, being willing to give up that possession. Partially charged by Samoa. Slapped back by Chile. Awkward bouncing ball and just runs it into touch. Samoa taking it quickly and they aren't on the mark. So they're going to have to go back for the crowd. Not happy as there was space on the outside. But he was in front of the quick throw mark. And Abu says Big Rig and Bulla Fiji. Says DK Fiji versus Japan. Tossa Fiji. Yeah, we are going to be covering that game on the channel as well. Right, time off. And it is going to be the line out for the Samoans. 1 minute remaining on the clock. 5 points difference. Now, I just have to keep on reiterating. If Samoa lose this game, they do not lose qualification for the Rugby World Cup. But it is a 2-match series that has taken place between these two sides, which then means that going into the next game, then it is all on the line. But currently they would go into that match with a -5 as their differential. How far out are they? They are about 40 metres from the line. It'll be a decent old strike from here. They weren't going to take any sort of penalty, but I think they will be looking at the option of the win instead. So this line out has to function for Reinuia, as well as the rest of his Samoan 4-pack. Chile says a tun. Now ready to throw it in. Chile slapping it again. And just about, oh no, knocked on by Chile. And Samoa now have themselves the scrum middle of the field with 30 seconds to go. A little bit of push and shove there, bit of feeling between these two sides. They call that a second leg in football/soccer. Says Big Rig. And come on, Chile cause an upset, says DK, and they are currently up by the 5 points. Currently 20 seconds remaining on the clock. And we have got there Talofa Lava from Brisbane. Says Foot. And we have got there what's up with the American History X look. Says Cameron K. It is because of the forfeit. You know, South Africa beat New Zealand in New Zealand and we hit the light goal. And because I am a man of my word, which sometimes is regrettable, I did end up getting the buzz cut. However, there Samoa technically could still win this game, says Big Rick. They absolutely could. They've got themselves the free kick there, Samoa. And they will take the quick tap and go bulldozing towards the try line. Chile getting in the breakdown, giving away the penalty advantage again to play. Going off to the right-hand side. Short ball, Olangi Bizinia passes on the outside. It's a full pass. So they'll go back for another penalty here. Samoa just trying to put their ears back and find a way over now. And Samoa technically can still win this game. Oh, they're asking the question here. It looks like Samoa are willing to take the 3. Is that what the call is? No, they're kicking for the corner. Okay, I was about to say that's a bold call to accept a loss. But they will instead kick it for the corner with Christian Leliofano. And they'll be about 7 metres out from the line now with another line out chance. And a penalty try come on Mr. Ref. If they took the 3, I would have lost all respect for the lad, says Big Rig. Yeah, I feel like if that was the call, that was probably from someone upstairs rather than the boys out there on the park because they will want the win. And at the end of the day, 3 points, yes, it is a substantial amount, but 7 points here giving them a 2-point lead heading into the next leg would be absolutely massive. Now backline. Now it's going to be Patelo Mapu. Tackled low by Santiago Videla. Now Samoa back across, huge shot on Benini. Was tied up. Now Leliofano joining the breakdown as well here for the Samoans. 5 meters out from the line still. Tapai pops it up again. Chile looking for that crucial chance of being able to get the steal. Ball's there again. It's a contest. Says Big Rig and go Chile. Says a turn. Little bit of a counter ruck from the Chileans. Los Cóndores want to get themselves the win, but Manu Samoa are still down by only 5. And have a big chance. Another advantage against Chile here. They played the last 5 minutes under penalty advantage. Great hands there and a nice pass on the outside. Great pickup as well from Tomasi Alosio. Trying to spin out of those challenges. Tapai goes back across in with Samoa. Have so many numbers to the left-hand side if they can use them. They've got a new advantage. Tapai, big driving tackle. What an offload that is to Tomasi Alosio. 10 meters out from the line once more. Tapai, Leliofano. Ball on the outside and just can't quite free the hands one more. They are still playing under the advantage. Tapai back across to the right. Skip pass goes to Benini actually on the bounce. I don't think the ref will be too far away from calling this one back. New penalty advantage in favour of the Samoans. Now Leliofano puts the ball across Samoa. One more pass on the outside. Oh, he didn't run it around, but it will be the try to make the score 32-32 after 83 minutes of this match. And Samoa now have a kick with Christian Leliofano to win this game. And we could be easily going into the next match all at level. A draw. And Joe says Jeremy there. He should have run it into the middle, 3 in a row. It has to be a card. Why no card, says Cameron Kay. I'd say that if that was a penalty and they had gone back, they probably would have gone for a card, but it was more so the penalty advantage back to back to back that we never quite see him reach for the pocket there. I want to come back by the Samoans. I thought it was over at half-time, says Big Rig, but the offload just sends the player the wrong way, and that is a try number 2 for Abraham Papali'i. The kick to win it after 84 minutes. Hey, you need to get a job as commentator, brother. Great, good pronunciation of the names. Says Falifatu. Now Leliofano to win this game for the Samoans. To be down by 17. Leliofano misses away to the side. This is a draw. And he is frustrated first straight away. Gets a handshake from a Chilean player. But next week, it is all on the line. Whoever wins next game qualifies for the Rugby World Cup. That's actually the easiest way for this to set up, really, because or else then there would have been people, had this game not been a draw, thinking that whoever won this game had qualified for the World Cup. But next week in Chile, if Samoa win it, they will qualify. If Chile get the win, they will qualify. With 32-32, the end score in this matchup. Come on, bro. Says Langi Tuiaiva. And also a fair result by the sounds of it, says Kiwi. Why didn't he run further under the poles? Says Mr. Kiwi for life. I think it was just the idea of getting that ball down first of all that came to his mind. And then, I mean, to be fair, you back Leliofano to knock that one over most of the time. It wasn't the hardest kick. He just ended up striking it a bit too far to the left-hand side. And Chile are going to be thinking, how the heck do we fumble this? Yeah, well, they had a 17-point lead to end up at the end of this game, 32-32. But I will mention, we have got another game in around 50 minutes' time, ladies and gentlemen. That will be Tonga versus Japan. We will have a guest for that stream too, so be sure to stick around. And then after that, we have got Fiji versus Japan, the final of the Pacific Nations Cup. But thank you all very much for watching. What time's the next game? Next game is 10:30 a.m. New Zealand time, so 50 minutes' time before we do get back underway. But cheers for watching. We will see you all for the next one.